Award-winning writer and educator Tony Weaver Jr. creates diverse stories that make young people feel seen and valued. And he's joining us today to talk about his new book, Weirdo. So Tony, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, hello. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Absolutely. So tell us about your book.
So I call Weirdo the nerdy kid's instruction manual for self-love and self-confidence. It is a graphic novel, comic book memoir that chronicles my personal experience overcoming depression, anxiety, and other forms of mental health disparity as a young nerdy kid. We tell kids that they should love themselves, but very rarely do we give them actionable tools for how to actually develop that positive self-image and positive self-esteem. So Weirdo is meant to be a helping hand for every person that's on that journey.
I love it.
I love that. And I love how you took the term weirdo that can kind of be this like painful label, but you turn it on its head and you make it meaningful for kids who feel different. So I'm just wondering where that idea came from and how can self-labeling empower kiddos?
Well, the word weirdo was not one that I placed on myself. When I showed up at school, I wanted to be the cool kid. I wanted to be the popular kid. I wanted all the friends and for everybody to like me, and that was my big goal. But I found out very early on that I was actually the weird kid, that it was difficult for people to relate with me, and that I was really into things that they thought were a little unorthodox. And when I was younger, I thought that was a bad thing. But as I got older, I realized that the things that made me weird were the things that made me unique. They gave me a point of view that allowed me to bring something to conversations, to relationships, and to the world that ultimately only I can bring. And I think there's something really powerful about me embracing that for myself. And I wonder what the world would look like if every kid was empowered to embrace that for themselves as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope Weirdo moves us towards.
Absolutely. So if you had had a book like this when you were younger, in what ways do you think that it could have been helpful for you?
I think that it would have been life-changing. One of the things that is so insidious about the darkness that we encounter when we're struggling with mental health is that we feel like we're alone. We feel like we're by ourselves, like we're the only people that have ever dealt with this problem that we're having. When the truth is, you're never alone. There's always a community of people that would like to support you, that want to help you become the best version of yourself. And I think the earlier young people realize that they're valid just the way they are, and that the only way they'll find the community they're meant to be in is if they behave like the person that they're meant to be. The faster things can get positive for them. So I really wish I had a book like this when I was younger, but I'm grateful that I can provide that experience for kids today.
Yeah, because of you, a lot of kids are going to get to have that experience. What made you decide to do a graphic novel for this particular story?
Well, as a nerd, I think that comics, manga, anime, this kind of visual nature of sequential art and storytelling is just really engaging. And I got the privilege to work with a team of twin Indonesian artists who illustrated Weirdo and made it this beautiful book. I think that visually there are a lot of things that we can communicate with the images in a comic that you can't necessarily communicate just with words. Over the course of the book, there's a lot of stuff that we do with color grading, how the different tones and hues of the colors in the story shift based on my emotional state. And it's something that, even though it's not spoken, I think will really resonate with readers.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you and your team for sending us a copy of the book. We had a chance to look through it. Absolutely beautiful. And what a great story it is. Where can our viewers get their hands on a copy of this book?
So Weirdo is at Barnes & Noble, it's on Amazon, it's at independent bookstores. Wherever you can find books, you can find a copy of Weirdo. And if you go somewhere where you can find books and Weirdo isn't there, they're not doing their job. You need to tell them. You got to tell them, get on this. What are you doing? You're a bookstore. You don't have Weirdo.
Find a
What's
different
going
bookstore.
on?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for taking the time to join us
Thank
today and
you.
fill us in. And thank you for the work that you're doing for young people by writing stories like this. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for your time.
Yeah,
Thanks,
for sure.
Tony.